All great ideas need money to move forward. Welcome to Part 6, Funding Your Project, the final video of this series. This video will cover the various funding sources accessible to SPRE projects generally, as well as options you may pursue to close your funding gap. For-profit developments are able to promise strong financial returns to equity investors and repay their debt based on revenues from either unit sales or future rents, making it easier for them to access money through loans or equity investments. SPRE projects, on the other hand, are typically more focused on social concerns, resulting in lower revenues and rates of return. So developing SPRE projects can be more challenging and require more creativity. But let's focus on how you can make it happen. The main upfront source of funding for a SPRE project are grants, philanthropy, partnerships, and loans. Typically, it will take some combination of the various financing sources to raise all the money necessary to build a SPRE project. Grants and philanthropy are obviously preferable because they don't need to be repaid. Governments of all levels offer grants to various SPRE projects in the affordable housing, arts, and culture, and recreation sectors, with CMHC being the most significant funder for affordable housing projects in Canada. But grants often come with conditions on eligibility and spending. Similarly, philanthropy is an important source of funding for SPRE projects. Major philanthropy for SPRE projects typically comes from corporations, foundations, and individual donors, and is often associated with the naming rights to the building or various spaces within it. Where grants and philanthropy together do not cover the entire cost of a project, SPRE developers will need to get creative to make their project a reality. One way to get creative is through partnerships. Mixing SPRE and for-profit uses in the same building or on the same site can generate revenues to pay for a portion of the SPRE development. For instance, if the proposed SPRE project is a two-story nonprofit community hub, a developer may be willing to pay for a portion of the community hub cost in exchange for the development rights to build market housing above the hub building. In today's real estate market, housing is the most financially valuable type of land use, and it can be mixed with all sorts of SPRE projects, including schools, theaters, libraries, daycares, museums, healthcare services, and places of worship. Depending on the location of the site and the number of housing units, partnerships arrangements can generate significant revenues for the SPRE project. Finally, if there is still a funding gap, SPRE developers can explore various types of borrowing to pay for the upfront costs of the project. Banks lend to real estate projects on commercial terms. Numerous banks, credit unions, and impact investors also have programs that offer lower interest rates or better terms to SPRE projects. Similarly, municipalities may provide discounts or waive fees for SPRE. Community bonds are another emerging source of capital, which allow everyday people in a community to invest in a local project and receive a small return on their investment over time. The key part about borrowing is that the money must be paid back. In order to approve a loan, lenders will be looking to see that the organization has the capacity to successfully carry out the project and that it has the revenue sources to repay the money borrowed. In a SPRE project, revenue streams to repay borrowing could be rental income in the case of a housing development, annual donations, ongoing government grants, or fees for service, user fees generated from memberships, programs, or space rentals. Lenders of all types will look to scrutinize the financial statements of an organization before making any substantial loan or investment in a development project. They may also look for collateral to secure the loan in case the borrower runs into financial difficulties, which may either be a financial investment in the project from the organization itself, or it could be the land on which the project is being built if it is owned by the SPRE developer. While borrowing is a significant feature of for-profit developments, it is only possible for SPRE developments that generate long-term revenues. And with that, our SPRE 101 series has come to an end. Thank you for joining. Be sure to check out the descriptions for our SPRE resource page that include a list of available funding sources. Register for the Institute's newsletter for program updates and don't hesitate to reach out to our team for advice.